A Hartlepool man accused of selling devices which distribute copyright material such as films, music and TV shows has been up in court this week. Teeside Crown Court saw the first case of its kind in the crackdown of the sale of Android boxes which use software called Kodi. James Barker was at Teeside Crown Court and has this report.
A Hartlepool businessman who sold fully loaded set-top boxes to pubs and clubs, enabling them to watch subscription TV services for free, has received a suspended prison sentence and now must pay £250,000 in fines. Teeside Crown Court heard that Malcolm Mays admitted breaching the Copyright Designs and Patents Act by advertising and selling the adapted TV boxes. Sentencing was passed on Monday and he was fined £170,000 and ordered to pay a further £80,000 in proceeds of crime. He also received two 10-month prison sentences which were suspended for 12 months. Mays sold the boxes, which run a software programme called Kodi, to pubs and clubs across the country for £1,000 each and advertised them as 100% fully legal. While the boxes themselves are not illegal, it is the modified software that allow the users to screen the pay-per-view content free of charge. He was prosecuted by Hartlepool's Borough Council's Trade and Standards Department, which tested one of the boxes and found it to be fully loaded with the illegal software. Ian Harrison from Hartlepool's Trade and Standards Department said that Mays should not be seen as a Robin Hood type of character. He told the court he wasn't stealing from the rich to help the poor, he was stealing to make himself richer. He then said that Trade and Standards will continue to target those traders and individuals who make a living from selling counterfeit goods or in other ways allow intellectual property to be stolen. This is the first time that a case like this has been heard at court, and it is a landmark case in the crackdown against the distribution of copyrighted content. Hartlepool Trade and Standards have promised that more cases like this will be brought before a judge in the future. For Teeside News, I'm James Barker.
Alcohol has always been a feature of student life, but for some there is a danger that it can become more overpowering. Holly Wiseman went out to find more about it in Middlesbrough.
Research conducted at Teeside University revealed that 2 out of 3 paramedics spent half of their workload dealing with alcohol abuse during the weekend. With so many student events and cheap alcohol at their fingertips, students at Teeside University often feel pressured into drinking by their peers. We asked Dot Smith from the Recovery Connections support team what she thought about binge drinking culture among students.
I think universities, as a way of induction and as a way of introducing students to each other, they use Freshers Week as that opportunity. Freshers Week largely centred around alcohol, it's largely centred around the nighttime economy in the local towns, and working with the bars offer cheap alcohol, which encourages people to drink more than possibly they would on a normal night out. I think that alcohol is part of university life. I think it's part of away from home, kind of, you haven't got the parental observation, the parental management of your behaviour to a degree within the home environment. And it's study hard, kind of play harder, get the work done and get out with your mates around the local towns in the local bars that generally encourage students to come in with drinks promotions, 2-for-1 shots. There's also the student union, student bars that are largely cheaper than what the bars are outside of campus. I think that the people that we work with have had issues with alcohol for a long period of time, not necessarily related to their university experience. It's quite common for the people that we work with to have a history of trauma, significant life events, or that they've been involved in heavy alcohol use for many years. It may well have started at university, but whether university is a causal factor, I wouldn't like to say.
The government has announced 13,000 qualifications will be replaced with just 15. The new T-levels will focus on technical subjects such as construction, social care and engineering. We went out on campus to get students' views on the impact this will have on degrees and graduates.
I mean, everyone should get a transfer for a degree for something they want to pursue in the future, and if that limits what people can choose to do, then it is going to cause some issues, but other than that I'm not really sure.
I mean, I'm quite fortunate because I'm on a dental programme anyway, so I'll be doing a lot of my practical here, but I suppose I can see why they wouldn't want to, if they've got what they need for a practical, a practical job or a practical profession without having to come to uni. But I still think a lot of employers are looking for, a degree or that level of, education rather than just the actual T levels.
Doing your A levels or practicals is is that just nothing but paperwork. And I know when I was going through college, practicals was the only thing that got me through it. And I was like, oh yeah, I love this work. Wonder what it's going to be like in uni,
I don't think it'll take away from uni degrees. I reckon it's just another, from what you've just said, it sounds like just another way to get more qualifications really, and if it's on the same level as A level, I don't think it's going to be taking over university degrees sort of thing.
Cleveland Police has some good news this week with the publication of a HMIC report dealing with how efficient they are at investigating crime and dealing with victims. Last year the force required improvement, and this year the report has marked Cleveland as doing just that. James Barker went to Cleveland Police headquarters to speak with the Police and Crime Commissioner Barry Coppinger to find out more.
The HMIC report that's been published this week highlights the effectiveness of police forces within England and Wales on their ability to deal with crime and victims of crime. Cleveland Police have rated as good, which is a marked improvement over last year's report, which said that it was failing in dealing with victims of crime. I've come to Cleveland headquarters here in Middlesbrough to speak with Barry Coppinger, the Police and Crime Commissioner.
I think both the current Chief Constable Ian Spittle and his immediate predecessor Jackie Cheer, who've both had 30-year careers in policing, have said that Cleveland police officers are some of the hardest working police officers they've seen in their whole police career. And I would endorse that. I spend a lot of time out in the community talking to residents. I'm at a residents' meeting tonight in Martin. And they will often tell us that they really value the work the police do. They just wish there were more of them. And I think that kind of sums it up, really. Our officers are working extremely hard in quite challenging circumstances. We serve a population of over 500,000 people. Cleveland Police receive up to 1,000 calls a day. So we are a busy area. And it's important that the officer resources that we've got are used as economically and efficiently as we can, and there's been changes to the shift process as well, which has been agreed with the workforce. It's the workforce's preferred arrangements that have been implemented, so there's been a lot of work done to try and focus our resources where we can to make the most impact, but at the end of the day it still relies on the actions of individual officers, and I have my evidence, and I've done over 400 community meetings, is that residents feel that police officers work extremely hard in Cleveland.
Mr Coppinger hopes that the recruitment process, which is currently underway, will help boost the numbers of bobbies on the beat and help them be more efficient with dealing with crime and the victims of crime. For Teeside News, I'm James Barker.
And now over to Samantha for our music news.
Ed Sheeran has total dominance over the UK according to Spotify. His new album Divide has occupied the first 16 spaces on the music streaming service chart since the album dropped last Friday, breaking the previous Spotify record for the best first week of streams for the new album. He has also beaten out Katy Perry and Lorde to the top spot. We are now waiting to see if he can keep up his 6 weeks at the top of the charts with Shape of You, or if Coldplay and the Chainsmokers can beat him out with their new song, Just Like This. Biffy Clyro have introduced what they are calling the UK's first immersive music video, a virtual reality music video honed by Samson. It made use of the 5th single to be taken from their album Ellipsis. It started off as a 3.5-storey portable cube studio that toured the festivals last year, but now with the help of Samson has become a virtual reality video you can watch in the comfort of your own home on your smartphone. A Hartlepool band Plaza have dropped a bomb to the UK this month that a hot new tour in April has finally been announced, the moment we've all been waiting for. Thankfully for us, the boys are coming to Teeside, in which they will play their gig on the 5th of April in Stockton, playing at the Stockton Calling. Transmit, a new festival in Glasgow that is taking the place of Tea in the Park, has increased their age restriction, stating that anyone under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a 21-year-old due to the unfortunate deaths at last year's Tea Festival. The non-kiting festival is due to run from the 7th till the 9th of July, with many an act still to be announced.
Welcome to Teeside Entertainment with me, Paul Fogarty.
Thank you, God, for this food and for our new friends.
So, where you all headed?
Vacation.
Long overdue.
I'd love to travel someday.
I could drop out of school.
Careful, you're speaking to a man who ran a school. I wish I could say you were a good pupil. But the words would choke me. I got kicked out a few times.
Logan, now playing. I'm here with Kieran Homer and Rob Small, and as you can see by the trailer, we've just showed, we're talking Logan. So, what did you guys think of it?
I thought it was probably the best comic book movie of all time. It's very different to the normal comic book movies you get from DC and Marvel. It had a really good villain, and obviously the performances from Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart were just incredible.
That's the thing. It's actually got a good storyline. It's kind of sad, deep. You know, there's action moments, but they say there is actually some content behind just the action scenes that you're so used to from like the Marvel movies and stuff.
Yeah, I found that.
It's got some substance to it, which is good.
The best thing about it is that at the end of most comic movies, you have this big beam in the sky, or it's a fight to save the planet. This story is very small, and it's based on characters instead of end of the world storytelling. Which
it's based on characters. It's actually I know it's like obviously it's fiction and stuff, but it actually does. It feels real, you know, when you're watching it, which is good.
How do you think it stacks up against other superhero movies? I've heard it being compared to The Dark Knight, you know, like the holy grail of superhero films.
I think it is really good. I think it's right to be compared in that same league as the Dark Knight, because again, The Dark Knight was something different compared to the normal run-of-the-mill superhero film that you're used to. And as I say, it's more that the reason these two films are being compared is, as I say, they both got a good storyline behind just the superhero characters that we all love.
I like what Rob said. Comparing it to The Dark Knight is the best thing I've heard. All the Batmans we had were really comic booky, really cheesy, really corny. And then when the Dark Knight trilogy came out, it brought a realization and physicality to Batman. And this is similar with Logan and Wolverine. We've seen really comic booky versions of the character in the other X-Men films. This one was really down to earth and really physical. And again, that's the best part of the film. It felt like a real story instead of trying to take a page out of the comic book.
How do we rate Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman's performances?
I mean, Hugh Jackman he's been playing the character for 17 years, so I still find it incredible that he manages to get something new out of the character in every single film he's in. Patrick Stewart, I feel like, again, he plays the same character in every X-Men film, so he brings the same performance in everyone. But I really love the vulnerability he brought to the role in Logan.
They were good. They were both great performances, but at the same time, I'm glad this was their swan song. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's been going on for quite a while now,
I mean, they've done so many Wolverine kind of films. Aside from all the X-Men films, they've just done straight Wolverine films, and I think it is like although Hugh Jackman does play it well, he's made his career out of playing this character. I am kind of glad that this was the last one, and it was a good send off. But I am glad that they're done with it.
Do we think it's going to get any special recognition, any awards?
I don't think it will. I think it deserves one, but I think it's just the Academy and the Oscars and the other award organisations just don't like comic book movies. I mean, Heath Ledger getting nominated for Best Supporting Actor was, I think, a one-off.
No, it's just because he died.
Yeah, there's a big factor as to why he got it. So I don't think he'll get nominated, but I don't think it needs to. It's an incredible film, and I think people will know that even without an Oscar nomination.
It does stand in its own right quite well.
Yeah.
I think it ties itself in as a good alone standalone film. It doesn't really tie in with the X-Men films. Very good for that. It's a very sort of neat, almost Western film rather than a superhero film. And I think that works really well for it. Anyway, that's it for Logan. So looking ahead now, are there any films you guys are excited to see in the next couple of weeks and months?
It's already out, but for me, the big film at the moment that I really want to see is Get Out. It's written and directed by Jordan Peele, who we know for the Key and Peele comedy show, and it stars the British actor Daniel Kaluuya, who we've seen in Black Mirror and Skins before. and it examines, like, it's a horror film, and it examines like the race relations in America, which obviously with the current climate and stuff is really interesting. But I can't wait to see Peele's take. Like, obviously we're so used to seeing him doing comedies. I can't wait to see his take on a horror.
It should be good.
Yeah.
Kieran?
I'm going for Beauty and the Beast. It's got an incredible cast. Emma Watson, Ian McKellen's in it as well. I think it's going to be a great film. Obviously, we've had Jungle Book, a classic animated film turned into live action, and I can't wait to see this rendition of Beauty and the Beast.
Looks like it's going to be good. Right, thank you very much, guys. That's all we've got time for here, I'm afraid. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye.
Thank you.